I learned the hard way from experience that there ain't no amount of personal, professional success in life that could replace just the experience of, really having a relationship with God. And I'm like most kids or like most young men, somewhere or another, we look to find our purpose in sports. The NFL, like that was my goal. That was my mountaintop that I wanted to climb all my life. And it took me making it to the NFL to realize that not even the top of the top of my dreams could fulfill me and satisfy my soul in the way that I was looking for it to. And not even the NFL could bring me peace, could bring me joy, could bring me just like peace of mind and just that wholeness and that fullness within our soul that we be looking for. And I want to share my personal testimony, my personal story and experience of how my journey to the NFL and then retiring and walking away from the NFL really led me into a deeper understanding of God and a deeper experience and relationship with God. Growing up, I was raised in the church, and I always had my doubts. Like, if I'm gonna be real with you, I always had doubts. I had my times where I just didn't really believe God would do anything about my circumstances. God wouldn't do anything about the situations I was dealing with in life, how I was growing up, being broke, the neighborhoods we was living in, moving from house to house, school to school, growing up. Like I just didn't. It just seemed like God didn't care about us. He didn't care about our situation. It just felt like no matter how much my grandma and mama went to church, man, ain't nothing changing. And so for me, I put my hope and faith in sports. Making it to the NFL was how I seen like, okay, I don't know about God, but the NFL is going to change my life. The NFL is going to allow me to make some money. It's going to allow me to get my mama up out the hood. It's going to allow me to make sure I can, have something to change my life with, success, fame, money. I'll be able to do something about what's going on in my life. I didn't see a way that God was doing that growing up. The journey to the NFL is hard enough as it is. It's millions of kids trying to compete for only so many opportunities to be on the NFL roster and to be on the team. And I feel like, and that's no disrespect to nobody else's story and grind. I know everybody got it out the mud one way or another, but man, my personal story of having to bounce around to different high schools to get a shot, people telling me I can't play the position that I wanted to play, that I ended up playing in the NFL anyway, going to not having a scholarship, going way out to California to JUCO, then my coaching staff that brought me out getting fired first day on campus, having to go to another JUCO, having to sleep on an air mattress, man, like just going through it. I had food stamp cards because they ain't have no meal plans on campus. Like just really going through it, trying to like sacrifice blood, sweat, and tears, literally. Then having to sit out another year because I got lied to about a scholarship situation, leaving JUCO. Then from JUCO, junior college, going into Division One school, going into the middle of nowhere and making it work from there and get my opportunity to play in the NFL. Like so, it worked out, but I feel like I had the hardest journey possible. Even going to the NFL, not drafted but undrafted, having to prove myself not every day, literally every single rep. I have to prove why I belong here and why they should keep me on this team. The hardest path to my dream, but I actually, made it work. So I'm grateful for that. But I never forget, man, my boy in college asked me, he asked me a great question. At the time I was young and I kind of like immature. I didn't really know how to answer it. But by me growing up in church, and like I said, at times I questioned God and I didn't really have a deep, solid, like firm foundation of my faith. And he asked me, why do you believe in that? Why do you believe in God? Like, why do you believe in your faith? Why do you believe in the Bible? Why do you think that stuff real? Like, why you believe it? And I always knew like what I believe in. I always knew like for the most part where I learned it about, where I learned about it from like my family and going to church. But I never had really sat down and figured out why. Because you can know something, you can do something, but if you don't know why, then you really don't understand the purpose in it and the intention behind it. So it stumped me. I couldn't answer the question. And for the first time, like I was just like, I really don't know why. I only did it because I was taught. I only did it because it's what my grandma and mama used to do. But I always had my own doubts. And remember that. Remember that question. Why? Why do you believe in what you believe? Why do you believe in Christ? So, like I mentioned, I ended up achieving my goal of making it to the NFL. So I'm playing in the NFL. But to be honest, everything I thought the NFL would be, like it was and it wasn't. It changed my life. It didn't change me. And I'm gonna say it again, like it changed my life, meaning the people in my life, the things around me, the money, the access to having a little local fame. All in all, it didn't change me. It didn't give me a peace of mind. It didn't give me joy in life. It didn't give me just the ability to be content and satisfied, and it didn't make me feel whole. It didn't really do nothing on the inside. It changed everything around me, but it didn't change me. There was still this void, like this big empty space inside of me that the money couldn't change, the little fame I did have couldn't fix, the new friendships couldn't feel it for me, like the access to all the different things, whether like and just being real, man, whether it's the girls, whether it's the parties, whether it's the traveling, or whether it's the hanging out, being able to buy luxury stuff, being able to buy a foreign whip, like a foreign car, whatever, like being able to buy whatever I want, like at 24, 25, 26 years old. Like none of that filled nothing up on the inside. Like I said, my life was different, but I wasn't a different person. I wasn't a different man.